Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Today I'm presentation English for Spesific purpose Module 10. And my name Muhammad Aditya and student ID 2114290051 and my prodi management S1 and my lecture DRS Budiantoro MA. Our topic 1. Ordering, 2. Receiving, 3. Paying for goods, and 4. Service. 1. Ordering. Order for work and goods and service. No order shall be issued for work, goods and service unless financial provision for the expenditure can be met within an appropriate budget. Official order shall be in a form approved by the NCC Head of Finance and are to be seek only be employees authorized by the head teacher who shall be responsible for official order issued from his or her school. School arrangement shall be maintained for the custody and control of order book, and from in its establishment, official order shall be issued for all work, good or service to be supplied to the school, except for supplies of public utility service. For periodical payments such as rent or rates, for petty cash, push cash, poor cash, or such other ex exception as the such as rent or rates for petty cash purchase, or such the expansion as the NCC Head of Finance may approve where urgent order are given orally, they shall be confirmed by an official order not later than the next working day following the day on which the oral order is given. Order shall indicates clearly the nature and quantity of the material, work, or service required, and details of the agreed price or estimate price, discount and term in relation to packing and delivery. A copy of its order shall, if so required, be supplied to the NCC Head of Finance. Official order must not be used order then for official purpose. This must not be used for ordering goods for private fund activities or for personal purchase. Next, order must be complete in ink or tip, and all copies of spoiled order from retained. For school operating the SIMS finance module, the order will be generated for the SIM system. In emergency, where an order has to be complete and administrative staff are not available to do this on SIMS, e.g. emergency building repairs following a break-in and edu order shall be complete in ink and a SIMS order recorded on the system as soon as possible. And number 2, receiving duties and responsibilities. The accepted role is very influential in the receipt of good, and must prepare beforehand with special knowledge about the goods to be received, especially about the quality specification or tips of goods to be received so that they are in accordance with what is expected by the user of the goods. In addition to this basic knowledge, other supporting factors such as completeness and adequate equipment must also be reported beforehand, including purchase order forms that are approved as a guide in receiving goods from various suppliers that will come on the specific day. Invoice not form, which is the form used to record the note is accordance with the goods received on that day. Daily receipt report form, namely the form used to make a recap of the goods received on the day, in accordance with the notes and bulk notes to be reported to the account payable department. Sets our specification of the material to be received are in accordance with the standards set by the company and the applicable price list. Main equipment such as large scales, electronic scales, large plastic basket for transporting warehouse and kitchen goods. Supervision in the receipt of goods as a receiving officer as well as a storekeeper. You must always have thoroughness and supervision of goods. The good inspected must be thoroughly checked for suitability in accordance with the detail of the purchasing standard established by the procedure. This assurance includes checking checking forecast receipt, checking goods in terms of quantity, type, price, and quality again, not and market list and opening edge of goods item to find out the truth of the content of the goods after matching in the goods that have been purchased are put into the warehouse for storage. The text of the receiving were in addition to receiving goods and researching good must also supervise and supersede the entry of goods into the warehouse by the vendor. This aim to avoid them of goods because vendors are not allowed to enter the goods store area. Receiving goods is the duty of the receiving staff who are obligated to receive, inspect the goods of processed material that come and are submitted by the vendor on order from the purchasing department in accordance with the SPS standards forecast specification. And next, number 3, paying for goods. Payment is the transfer of money, goods or service in exchange for goods and service the acceptable for proportion that have been previously agreed upon by all parties involved. A payment can be made in the form of service exchange, cash, check, wire transfer, credit card, debit card, or cryptocurrency. Payment can be the transfer of anything of value or benefit to parties, and invoice or bill typically precedes a payment. Payers usually get to cause how they will accept payment. However, some wells require the prior to a cap to country legal tender up to the prescribed limit. Payment in another currency often involves additional foreign exchange transaction fees, usually around 2 and 3% of the total payment being made, but could be credited at the high depending on the bank or card issuer and country of purchase. And the last, number 4, service. Service are the act of providing everything that other people need. Service. Activities, convenience, benefit, and so on that can be sold to other people, consumer, was or enjoy them. In general, the definition of service is an activity or action that is intangible, cannot be touched, but can be identified, planned, and implemented to meet consumer demand and satisfaction. Service, service or service in economic is an economic activity that involves interaction with consumer or with property but does not result in the transfer of ownership. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.